Shows it is today, December 12th, 2019. This is our Board of Public Works and Safety meeting that we are going to call that meeting to order at this time, showing that we do have a quorum sufficient to do business today. And going right to the first item here, minutes of the regular meeting on November 26th, 2019. I will abstain from that. And is there any corrections or deletions to the minutes or additions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
By Mrs. Browner, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Clark. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. Unfinished business, there is none before the board today. We'll go directly into new business. On the agenda, the first item A, approval to purchase 3 2020 Police Interceptor utility vehicles for Lawrence Fire Department. Chief, welcome.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
In maintaining our rotation of vehicles, those 3 vehicles are on the state QAP, which means they don't need to go out to bid. We did this back in 2016, and we're replacing half the fleet again to make sure that these don't get too many years and miles on them. So we're asking the board to approve 3 more to fit in our rotation. Like I said, it's through the QAP, through the state.
Right. Questions for Chief? Alice?
No, it's already budgeted for 2020
Yes.
in the
QAP.
that's the organization that, or what is?
That's the ambulance come up a little bit different. That's HGAC. That's a national contract. This QAP is on a state level. So like your state police, county, a lot of your cities will go do this QAPs, and they've already negotiated the price with the state.
That's what I thought, yeah.
They already went through the bidding process through the state, so this is like the state price.
Best price that
You
you
bet.
Competitive bidding's already been had.
Yeah, and it shows like, I think per vehicle, they took like, I'm thinking it's like 7,000 hours off a vehicle because of that bid.
Yeah, I looked twice at the price. It was a good price.
I thought they were nice cars.
Having heard those comments from the chief, are there other questions? Motion to approve the purchase of the 3 2020 Police Interceptor utility vehicles for Lawrence Fire Department.
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Going to item B, which is approval of sales agreement proposal with Horton Emergency Vehicles to purchase ambulances for the Lawrence Fire Department.
Yeah. We're a little bit behind in this. We're trying to get, the controllers worked very close with this, and we're trying to do 1 a year. We did 2 this year. We're supposed to have actually ordered 4 by this time. We're asking for 1 for, this will be not come until next year. This also is, it's on a national bid. It's through the HGAC agreement. So there again, the bidding already is done. And we have 2 ambulances that were purchased in, actually we received them this year, that this board approved through the same HGAC agreement.
Okay. We've heard those comments from the chief. Are there other questions?
When do you anticipate delivery of the?
4 to 6 months.
Okay.
It takes a while to build these, so we're a little bit behind, but I think we're still light years where we have. At least we've got, with this controller, we've got a plan in place, and our vehicles aren't going to be 12, 15 years old like they were in the past. So it's
Right.
good rotation.
Good. Having heard those comments, and we'll have a motion to approve 2020 the Horton's emergency vehicle to purchase ambulances for Lawrence Fire Department. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Clark. Questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Moving on, approval of the 2020 service agreement with the Public Safety Medical for the Lawrence Fire Department.
This is a facility we have used for many years. They service several police and fire departments throughout the state and actually outside the state. Since this is a kind of like a contract agreement, we bring it before the board. It's something that we do annually. It's for our fire department annual physicals. We also have back to work. We use them for our psych exam and so forth. So this is just an annual agreement that we bring before the board. And legal had brought something up, some language in there that their attorney got in touch with ours. And according to legal, you're satisfied with the way it is?
I am. I had requested one minor language change, which is what I distributed before the meeting, which is about an addition of 5 words, just to make sure that they understood that this is subject to Indiana's public access law. So if there's a public records request, which they completely understood, we just made that clear from the document. So that's all it is.
Yep.
Questions on the service agreement? I think we've been doing this for quite a few years.
We have, and it's passed both legal and the controller also. We're just waiting for this board's approval.
Any questions?
So is this just for annual physical, but it's like is this a clinic that the fire department has access to for health?
This has nothing to do with the clinic. This is our physicals, our annual physicals, and if somebody gets hurt, not only their regular doctor has to approve their return, but since the regular doctor doesn't know exactly what the firefighters do, given on their job description, Dr. Moffat there actually has to clear them before they come back to work. Or sometimes people get sent for psychological exams. We also use this facility for new hires, so we use it for several different things. But it's basically the bulk of it serves firefighter physicals and blood work.
Okay. I just got confused when I saw the wellness med testing and all of that it was more of an ongoing, but yeah.
Chief Wallace might be able to explain that a little bit further. He's more familiar with that contract.
So one of the things we do is through NFPA, we try to meet some of the recommendations, and Public Safety Medical just simply does our annual wellness physicals. And some of the things they test is like a treadmill, resting EKG, blood work, and all that's kind of outlined in that contract. And like Chief Patalis just said, we also use them for new hires, and we use them for psychological and back to work exams. So
Okay.
we've been using them for,
As far as I can remember, and they
probably 20 plus years, I bet.
and we like using them because they also deal with several other fire and police departments, so they're used to dealing with public safety.
Okay.
Having heard those comments, other questions? Okay, we'll go, is there a motion to approve the service agreement for the public safety medical for the Lawrence Fire Department?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. We move to item D.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Chief. Thank you for being here today. Go to Scott Salisbury, that's going to talk to us about the approval of professional service agreements with Wilden Engineering.
Yes, Wildan Engineering. Yes, and we're wanting to bring them in to do a review of our building permitting processes, inspection processes, review our ordinance, to just see if there are areas where we can make improvements as to efficiency, expediting permit issuance, that kind of stuff there. So it's just a comprehensive review of that function from an independent outside perspective. And they have a ton of experience. They've been in business since 1964 doing this kind of stuff, so very qualified to do this kind of work.
Questions?
Are they gonna, so it's training also?
Not necessarily training. They're going to be coming in and just reviewing our process. At the end of the process of their review period, they may come to us with recommendations as to changes we could make to improve our processes in that area.
Just a general auditing.
Yes.
And is there, what I always hear is that they want an online.
And we are working on that aspect of the permitting process too. The online e-permitting and contractor licensing is something that's actually being worked on in the controller's office. Our deputy controller, Tyler, is working on that module, which is part of the New World system. So
Okay.
I call it live.
we are heading in that direction.
Okay. So have we had this kind of assessment done in the past, or is this the?
No, this, to my knowledge, first time it's ever been done.
Okay. Yeah,
I think it's interesting that,
Yeah.
I think this resource can bring us, since they go throughout the state, some other cities that are doing things better than we're doing, and we can maybe tap into improving all of these permitting programs that we're into and other things. So I think getting kind of some different ideas might really benefit the city for moving us into the 21st century, I think, rather than hanging around 1960.
yeah. Well, and I think it's confusing because we're a city, and then there's Indianapolis, a city, and people are confused a lot about what needs to be done, and so I'd be interested to find out how if there's any recommendations there on how to overcome those kind of unique.
Sure. And that will be part of that overall review.
Okay, well, that's great, yeah.
How long will our review be, and when would we get some information?
He's got, right now, that he'll spend 40 hours reviewing, speaking with the employees in the department, watching the process, the permit process, the inspection process, and all that. And then, and also reviewing our actual ordinance. And then at the end of that, he'll come back with recommendations.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, we have then approval of the professional service agreements with Weldan Engineering. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Clark. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
One quick question. Will we have an opportunity to see the results of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. It'll be great. We look forward to it. Thank you. Item E, resolution number 11, 2019, DPW disposal of property.
So yeah, this one's a little more complicated, but what we're looking for is a resolution to, we have a cell tower at the 53rd Street Maintenance Compound. And so the leaseholder of that tower has approached us with options to have 3 options, a lump sum purchase or 2 other options for, I think, maybe 5-year and 10-year leases. So in the review that was done with our chief financial officer and legal review, so we've come to the conclusion that the lump sum offer that they have given us is the best route to take on that. And so we're just looking to get this resolution passed. The one thing that is kind of driving this is that we do have a deadline of December 20th to get the stuff in so that they can close the deal on their end. So that's, we're kind of in a time crunch, but it's been reviewed again by legal and our financial, chief financial officer. And so the recommendation is that we go with this. We'll get a $215,000 payment roughly, which we will then use for road repair. It'll be going into the road budget.
Questions on resolution 11?
I wanted to know what it was going to be used for, so you answered that.
Okay, yeah, road repairs.
Okay. All right, we'll, make a motion here to adopt resolution number 11, 2019, DPW disposal of property. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm Mr. Clark. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Scott, on that.
Thank you.
I think you're up again here. The release of improvement bond and acceptance of maintenance bond for storm sewers in Eagles at Winding Ridge, Section 2.
Yeah, this is part of our standard acceptance process.
And looked over and everything's in order.
Correct, yeah.
Questions? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the release of improvement bond?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark, second.
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Item G, release of improvement bond and acceptance of maintenance bond for street base, binder, and curbs in Eagles at Winding Ridge, Section 2.
So again, all these things have been,
Everything's in order.
yeah, everything's been inspected, punch lists are complete, and we're ready to move to acceptance, yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the release of the improvement bond?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Then we have the release of an improvement bond for erosion control in Greens at Winding Ridge, Section 6.
And this one's a little different in that it does not require the submission of submittal of a maintenance bond as part of the acceptance process. So we're just looking to release that bond because that project is at a point where the erosion control is done. It's no longer necessary to have a bond.
Right. In order.
Yeah.
Having heard those comments, is there a motion to adopt the release of improvement bond for the erosion control of Greens at Winding Ridge, Section 6?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second? By Mr. Clark. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you. We have an approval of planned 2020 meetings before us. Are there any concerns or questions about the meeting dates? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Clark. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the planned meetings for 2020 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. We have any comments from our administration today, or my wife's in the audience if she'd like to make any comments to the city? No. It's your one chance. Okay. Yes, she'll keep those. Citizens' comments. You're also a citizen, so. All right. So we don't have any citizens' comments. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
By Mrs. Browner, second.
Second.
By Mr. Clark. Those that want to adjourn signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned 3-0. Thank you.